And we're live. Woohoo.
Hi, Tim, we're live, and you've been busy traveling the world.
Yes, as I couldn't be bothered to take the map down because I was trying to explain to Christelle in the pre-show where Alaska was. So Alaska is this bit up. How can you see my mouse pointer? You probably can't.
Yeah, we can. It's a little
so at the moment, I'm in Fairbanks in Alaska, which is the most northern point that I've ever been to. Ironically, I was looking it up whether Anchorage was. Anchorage wasn't, because when I stayed over, when I transferred flights in Iceland, that's actually further north than Anchorage.
Okay.
But yesterday I took the train from Anchorage. It's called the Alaska Railroad, which goes through the national park all the way up to Fairbanks. So that's what I've been up to.
Now, how was that? How was that train ride?
It was great. I mean, it takes all day basically. So it's 8:20 in the morning to 8 p.m. at night. So it takes 12 hours.
And you went through a national park. So tell us about that. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes through about 3 national parks. The main one it goes through is called Denali, which is where Mount Denali, formerly known as Mount McKinley, is, which is the biggest mountain in North America.
Oh, wow.
In Alaska, yeah. Unfortunately, they always say on this train journey that you can only see it on a good day, and the weather wasn't that great, so you never actually got to see Mount McKinley or Mount Denali.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to be a photo bore here and start sharing some photographs, so we can have. I could be one of these like people who does like, here are my slides from my presentation.
Well, I'm curious because Alaska is on my bucket list, and I have not yet been. So show.
Well, I've only done the train. Yeah. So, right. Which way? So yeah, you basically go to the Alaska Railroad place. How many? Yeah, I'm not sure what that's a picture of. I have to be careful not to share any. I don't think there's any inappropriate pictures on here, but you never know. So you get aboard the train, and oh yeah, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah.
Now,
go ahead.
Is Alaska light all day during the summer?
Yes. It's the funny thing is though, because the weather's been quite grey and miserable, it's not been as obvious.
Okay.
But it's still light until like 10:30 at night at the moment.
Okay.
It's a bit like the UK in the height of summer, but apparently in the actual like June time, it's light virtually all the time.
Okay.
I have like half an hour of time.
Okay. Now this
so
is on
yeah,
train.
So I paid. There's 2 classes in transport, and I paid for the more expensive one, which they give you a nice little pin, which I'm not going to be able to take with me because it's got a pin on it. So
oh no!
Yeah, yes. I might try. I give you this little pin to wear because you get the gold standard, gold star service, which means you get free meals and you get this. Your car has big windows in it. The normal ones don't. So I'm not sure why. So that's one of the stations we called in at Talkeetna. And that's the train from the back. So this is me. So this is like what the seats are like. So you get quite a lot of leg room.
Yeah, yeah.
And they also have like a bartender who goes along the thing. You only get 3 alcohol. You only get 2 free alcoholic drinks on the whole trip.
You can pay for more, or do they limit you to 2?
You can pay for more, yeah. So So for those of you like Christelle who've got alcoholic problems, you can
I asked because I've been on trains in the UK, and they can get quite. Some of them can get quite lively. Let's just say.
Yeah, no, I mean there wasn't any rowdiness on this particular train. So yeah, you get like the you get on and then you get breakfast. It's got this weird system where they kind of call half the carriage down to the carriage below to sit for breakfast, dinner, and lunch, and then the rest of you are waiting. So it's a bit weird like that. So they give you this is the breakfast. Oh no, this is the lunch menu. Yeah, lunch. So I mean, it's all fairly common, standard fare. And these are all totally out of order. Oh well, you'll have to make do with me.
I mean, it's quite beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, the food looks good though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I wouldn't say it was tasty. It wasn't presented like cordon bleu stuff level or anything.
So it was okay, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's not. Well, what I mean for train food, it was pretty good, really.
No, this is beautiful.
Yeah, well, the photos just don't really do it justice in terms of how beautiful it was. The funny thing was that they have an area out the back of the carriage, which I probably won't see in this set of photos I've taken. Where you can actually go out and it's exposed to the elements. It's just quite frightening going out there. And I took most video with my action camera there rather than use. This is from my iPhone collection of photos. So I've got a lot more video and stuff. I'm going to be a video bore and upload it to YouTube at some point.
I mean, these windows are just perfect for this adventure here.
Yeah, well, the problem with taking photographs through the window, you can't notice in most of these, but some you'll see there's glare and reflections. That's why it's better in a way if you can take it out of the back. But it's quite hard to handle a phone out there because you get exposed to the elements.
Now, could you get a view of any animals at all?
There was. At one point, everybody went, "Oh, there's a moose," but I didn't see the moose. There was an osprey's nest that we got to see at one point, but no, I didn't really see much. We weren't attacked by bears or anything. But apparently, it's quite common for them to be seen from the train.
Okay.
I'm not a wildlife person, particularly.
Well, I know Alaska is known for bears and moose and beautiful wildlife.
Yeah, well, in one of the meals, I had a meal with two people, and who happen to be living in Anchorage now, and they were saying it's quite regular. They showed me pictures of like moose in their garden coming up to them. You can see like the glare there actually.
Yeah.
So, there's no rhyme nor reason in these pictures, Alda. So
I mean, it's just beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, that's this is out the back. So this is the bit.
So you're outside here, is that correct?
Yeah. So right at the back of the carriage is kind of like an open air bit. It's only about, say, 6 foot or so. But you go out there and you can take pictures and the like, video. But I took most of those using a different camera, which I haven't got on this set at the moment.
So, Tim, your experience of Alaska, how does this compare to the rest of America?
Alaska's odd in many ways. The cities aren't much to write home about so far. I haven't actually been out in Fairbanks, so Fairbanks might be wonderful. But Anchorage is quite kind of forgettable, really, as a city. But the beauty outside is amazing. Like the whole beauty of the whole country is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just keep going. I'm just coming on these. Oh, that's a nice photo.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, I mean, this is the kind of, yeah. It's just they just took so many photos, and it's just so photogenic, the whole country. I mean, you go, and it goes through different parts as well. So there's kind of different stages of this kind of countryside, and then you cross over a mountain divide, and it's like it is actually the great watershed. So I don't know if you know about rivers and things, but in most continents and most areas, they have a point where the rivers change direction.
Okay.
So, for example, in the US, it would be the Rockies. Once you get to the top of the Rockies, the rivers will run down to the Pacific. But obviously, on the other side, they'll run to the Atlantic because just its geographical thing. So, in this trip, you go, you actually go over the north-south one so it's not far north of, it's only probably like 100 miles north of Anchorage, where it switches from being the rivers run south to run north. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Oh, hang on. So yeah, I think I'm running out of pictures actually. It's not one of a nice coal power station. Even the coal power stations are nice there.
What is that? What is that called?
It's just a coal power station, so it's like one for burning. Yeah, and that was
dinner.
That was the dinner menu. The slow braised pot roast was really nice, actually. Oh no, not sure why I took a picture of Querdle there, but that's the dining room area. So
you got up and moved to the dining room to eat dinner. Is that?
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it works.
Okay.
So that was the pot roast, which was actually really nice.
Okay.
So, none of it was presented particularly well, but that's yeah. So that's Alaska for you.
Wow. And where are you headed? Are you staying where you are for a couple of days, or are you headed elsewhere?
No, I'm here today. So I'm here today. Obviously, I'm here today, but I'm in Fairbanks today, and then tomorrow at 3:00 I'm flying to Seattle and then on to Portland in Oregon.
Oh, Seattle. I thought you were already in Seattle. No?
I was already in Seattle. Yeah, I'm only changing planes at Seattle tomorrow.
Okay. Now, did you go to the Space Needle?
Yes.
Did you go up?
I did go up Space Needle. Hang on.
Tell us about that.
I do become up.
I just have to let you know. I prayed the whole way up. I was so scared. I don't do heights well, but it was incredibly beautiful once we got to the top.
Yeah, no, I suffer from. I didn't go on the glass floor thing. I'm just trying to find if I've got some photos of the Space Needle.
My son went out to the glass.
No, I went up here. I did. There's something I've learned with those big attractions that I paid no attention to, which was I can share a terrible photograph of me on the top of the. I took a selfie on the top of the. So there's me at the top. I've just grown very tall. I'm bigger than the whole of Sandy. So yeah, I mean that's the Space Needle for anybody who doesn't know. It's a big tower they built in the 1960s, didn't they? I think for.
I mean, it's worth going up. It's definitely worth going up, I think.
And then the glass floor bit, which I wasn't. There's no way I was going on that.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's all right. I mean it's a bit expensive to be honest, but the lesson, as I was saying, the lesson I've learned from these things is for that kind of really popular attraction, you want to go immediately opens in the morning, so like 9 a.m.
Okay.
And actually, I could have done that. I took the monorail, which is the most overrated attraction I've been seen anywhere. Totally the most pointless transport in Seattle, the monorail, because it doesn't go anywhere. Its sole thing is that it's a monorail, and a monorail means you can get a good views from it, and they've like glazed the windows in this kind of mural thing that you can't take pictures.
Oh no.
So the monorail's just terrible. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's like $3, so it's not. It's kind of worth doing, I suppose. But so I took that, and then instead of going straight up the Space Needle at 9 o'clock when it opened, I decided to go and get a coffee at Starbucks instead. So by the time I got to the actual Space Needle queue, there was a queue of probably 50 people already queuing to go up it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so things like the Sears Tower, a Space Needle, these kind of hallmark ones immediately opens and goes straight up the tower. Don't hang around and wait for the morning, because everybody else does that, and then you get stuck behind all the tourists.
I will say, my son and I went. We didn't go during the summer tourist months, and we went at night, and it was actually really nice.
Oh, yeah, that's another good idea as well.
Yeah.
Right, so I don't know how these panoramic pictures. This was the place I got. Got Starbucks actually.
Where is
remember
this?
what it's called. It's right next to the Space Needle.
Okay.
It's I can't remember what it's called. It's right next. It's a big building right next to the Space Needle.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, it's got a load of restaurants and stuff. It's quite pleasant actually.
Okay.
And this is a panoramic. This is the riverfront at Seattle.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just turning into. Here's my slideshow of slides.
When we were in Seattle, because we only went a few months ago, and we went to the University of Washington on a whim, and it was worth going. The campus is absolutely beautiful, and we actually went when the cherry blossoms were blooming. This was all by accident, and so we happened to see just beautiful. Apparently, everyone knows about it, but we didn't, because I didn't know about it. It was definitely a lot of tourists were there taking pictures of the cherry blossoms. So we happened to stumble across it. Beautiful campus. Oh my, absolutely stunning.
Yeah. What else did I do in Seattle? Well, seeing as we're talking about my trip, I can be a travel bore. I went to. There's somebody I vaguely know, Stu Heineck, who's an author who wrote the book How to Get a Meeting with Anybody. So I foolishly said, "Oh yeah, we can meet up," and he said, "Oh yeah," but he lives on one of the islands. It's actually quite a long way up, as I discovered.
Oh wow.
So I got eventually got a lift up to this ferry terminal, and let's see if I can share some more. And yeah, he picked me up there.
I imagine it'd be worth it because it's quite beautiful, those islands.
Yeah, hang on. I'm trying to think of the name of the island. It's got some name that I've now totally forgotten, in the best tradition of these things. Right. And for some reason, Google Photos seem to be so. Right, yeah. So I got a ferry there. I think this might actually be a video. Yeah, well, you can see I got a ferry before it. Yeah. And then I met up, and it's a really beautiful island.
Oh no.
Wow.
Hopefully you're still with me there. Let me just look up what the name of the island is. That's actually not on the island. That's on the island above it, but it's Whidbey Island.
Okay.
So that's certainly, those islands are certainly worth visiting. The only trouble is you really need a car to get up there, because the public transport up that way is a bit terrible, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right, let's see it.
So you got a surprise adventure.
Yes, I went up to. The reason why Stu is standing in weeds is that his book is called Weed Strategy. So he's kind of obsessed with weeds and photographs.
What is his book about?
So, his book is what it say? It's about how to grow your business like a weed.
Okay.
So the whole idea is that he's saying that these weeds have great strategies for, which is actually, it's quite an interesting book.
Okay.
I've listened to it on audio book. He actually gave me a signed copy somewhere, but I can't be bothered to find that at the moment. But no, it was great to actually meet, because I've never met him in person. He's been a guest on like my show on a couple of my shows over the years.
Okay.
And he's talked about, I've never actually met the guy before in person, so it was good to hang out with him for a while.
Yeah. Now these pictures are just beautiful.
So yeah, this is called, I think this is Desolation Point or something like that. The photos really can't do justice how beautiful it is around there.
Nice.
Then there's a big rock over here.
So yeah, and then we got the ferry back. Took the ferry back. The weather actually improved just as I was leaving, which was
Yeah.
which was typical. Took lots of pictures of. And yeah, and the other well, while I'm here doing my travel log, the other interesting places I went. The Seattle Art Museum is quite interesting.
Oh wow. Okay.
Interesting sculptures and the like. And then one of the best places is the Museum of Flight.
Wow.
I thought it was associated with Boeing, but apparently it isn't. It's on the old Boeing factories, and it's just huge because they've got. Oh, I only take a few photographs there. It's
Wow.
like, yeah, I thought I took more photographs there. I've got a whole load of video of that place. So
It looks quite fascinating. And the art museum. Wow.
yeah, well, the art, yeah, like I don't know where this teddy bear was, but that was quite amusing. It was in the shop window somewhere.
Now, did you make it to the fish market?
I did. I wasn't madly impressed with the fish market, but it was just because it's quite busy, and I'm not a mad fan of busy places per se.
Yeah.
It's one of those kind of like attractions that. One thing I did see was I got a photo. I might not have a photo of. There's this weird street full of chewing gum and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Pictures of it here. It wasn't particularly pleasant, but it's like I just accidentally walked into it. Oh yeah, this little man thing. It actually moves. It's like an animated arm that goes up and down like this. That's really cool. So there's a little rat. I was just obsessed with that rat thing. I don't know quite why.
I have to ask Tim because I want to know about food. Did you get anything at the market when you were there? Any food?
No.
Tim, that's what it's known for.
Yeah. This is like Anchorage.
Okay.
There's the controversial statue of Captain Cook, who,
Oh.
as well as discovering, well, not discovering, but rediscovering Western Australia, also discovered Alaska, first person chart Alaska. The weather, I mean, even the weather wasn't very good, and I could still get some decent pictures across. But on a good day, you can see Denali and some of the other ones. This was like they seem to have a lot of weird stuffed animal things and like in Anchorage.
That's what do they call those?
I don't know. Yeah,
people
I'm not sure.
bear things. Bigfoot, right? Is that Bigfoot?
Yeah. And this was the hotel was actually quite good. All the hotels here seem a bit old, but they're generally pretty good.
Are they old and quaint or just old and run down?
Old and run down.
Okay.
and there's a massive election going on in Alaska at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So everywhere is filled up with. It's the primaries, I think, for the. They have some sort of open primary system, I think. So.
my.
Oh yeah, it's like the Anchorage Museum. I'm not entirely. I don't think these are genuine animals. I could be wrong.
Baked Alaska.
And quite a lot of. It was quite a good museum, the Anchorage Museum, but I would say I've actually learned anything particularly.
Is it the history of Anchorage, or what is this?
Well, it's mainly about it seems to be a mixture of art exhibits and various native peoples or indigenous people stuff, but I didn't really learn a lot. It was a very interesting museum to go around. Lots of great artwork.
Yeah.
I was just obsessed with those. Take a picture of these.
That's funny.
Fluorescent animals. It's a really nice building as well.
Moose.
Alaska. And finally, there was a slight break in the weather, so I could get to. So yeah, I mean, you imagine how much nicer it would be if it was actually really good weather there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trails in the city itself. These are panoramic pictures, in case anybody's wondering.
Yeah. So far, Tim, your favorite place in Alaska?
Well, the only place I've been, is Anchorage. But in terms of where the station, I'll probably say Denali Park is the best place I've been in terms of. You see, in the morning I was getting worried because it was like, and I was like, is the whole day going to be like that on the train? But thankfully it wasn't. So.
Quite overcast. What is that little house down there? That little cottage?
Oh, I think I was just I do take pictures of just random buildings and things because
Okay.
I saw this and I was like, I'm not sure why it got I Will Forget You Not. I
Yeah.
thought it was a church or something, but it wasn't. I looked around, it just seemed to be a normal house. So, because one thing I'm thinking of doing is getting a bit into stock footage, because you can actually sell just random stock footage of stuff. So I do take pictures of random stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, I mean, you get like 1 cent a download sort of thing, but I take so many pictures anyway.
On iStock photo or something like that?
Yeah.
It's a great idea. Well, that looks fun. I think I would like to go on that train that you just went on.
Yeah, well, to say there's a normal option, and then there's the Gold Star one. The Gold Star one is quite expensive. I think it was like $400 or something. This one, but the normal class is I think it's about 150.
Okay.
But you don't get the food, you don't get the upstairs place with the view. They've still got views. They have got a viewing car. I actually walked to it. It was like really busy and quite claustrophobic, but I don't actually think I think it's quite good value if you go to the economy adventure class, as they call it. So yeah, I mean, it is a whole day. It's actually quite a long way between Anchorage and Fairbanks. So it's a whole day's rail travel.
Next up, you're heading to Seattle again and then down to Portland. How long will you be in Portland?
I'm there for, I think, 3 days.
Okay. What are you going to do there in Portland?
I have no idea. I'm generally go to TripAdvisor and type in top attractions. I do so much planning for the actual journeys and booking the thing, and then when I actually get there, most of the time I have no idea what is in the city. Like here, last night I was Googling, and it's like there's somewhere called Museum of the North that's supposed to be good here. So I'm going to see if I can visit that.
Okay.
And
I lived in Portland for 5 years.
oh, did you? Yeah.
I did. I lived there for 5 years. I had my youngest son in Portland. And so there's a couple places that I like and things that I found on my journey there. So I'm curious to see what you find and what you.
Well, I thought you were going to recommend me some.
Well, I very much like the waterfront. I very much love the waterfront. We went to kind of an uptown area that had you could find little horse. They still have their little horse. What do you call those things that you tie your horse up from back in the horse days? And on there, because Portland's such an art city, at least it was when I was there. An artist had tied little toy horses to all those little rings, the horse rings. And so I took so many pictures of those just because I got obsessed. It was kind of my treasure hunt. Various lakes there that are beautiful. Lots of art, lots of really good food. I'm obsessed with the food. So coffee. Portland had breweries before San Diego did. So definitely try a brewery if you can get to one.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, I'm not sure I'll go to a brewery. I don't know. I'm a bit odd about doing stuff on my own. I'm actually quite shy in my travels in some ways, which is a bit weird. That's why I like to try and meet people.
Yeah.
After Portland, I'm going to Fargo in North Dakota.
Oh, wow. I have never been there.
No, most people haven't. I like actually going to the obscure places. The reason is it's on the border with Minnesota. So the hotel I'm going to be staying is actually in Moorhead, which is on the Minnesota side. So I'm really slightly shortchanging Minnesota because it's like I'm not going to see Minnesota at all.
So have you been to Minnesota or no?
Yeah, I've never even been to the airport. I will be going via the airport, Minneapolis airport, to get there, but I'm not really going to be seeing much of Minnesota.
So now, I lived there also for 5 years. I don't know if you knew that.
You've been like sentenced to live in every US state for 5 years.
I lived in Portland for 5 years and Minnesota for 5 years. Yeah. So Minnesota is where I had my oldest son. It's quite green. The winters can be quite cold. But I never made it down to Fargo, North Dakota. So I'm curious to hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah, I don't know what's there. I remember the film Fargo or whatever, but that's all set in the winter. Apparently, I saw online that North Dakota have been pushing for them to be like, they give people stuff if it's the 50th state you actually visit, it's the 50th. But I wasn't going to go. I'm not going to go to North Dakota as a 50th. Well, I've got to go to Hawaii as my 50th. That's what I think.
Oh, yeah.
Hawaii 5-0 thing.
Are you still going to do your birthday there? Is that...
Probably not. I think I'm going to do, I don't know what I'm going to do, probably some tame 50-year-old London thing on my birthday. And then I might do something for when I actually get to all 50 states, because I'm not going to get there by next February.
Yeah.
So after Fargo, I'm going to Milwaukee. And if I'm brave, and the weather's good, I might try and there's a ferry you can take all the way across to Michigan.
Wow.
Muscadine in Michigan. Yeah. It's about 2 hours. So you can do a day trip to Michigan from Milwaukee.
Okay.
But it's a bit expensive. And also it's like, I'm not sure about if the weather's rough. I'm not that big a fan of boats, but it would be quite a good way to do do another state.
Okay, so
and then after that, it goes on. After that, I'm going to Dallas for Podcast Movement for a week.
But you've been to Texas, haven't you? Is that?
Yeah, no, there's nothing. I get absolutely nothing from going to Texas. I just built the trip around. I usually build it around the excuse of a conference, even though the conference usually. Just this aside. And on the way back, I'm going to Indianapolis for basically a day on the way back to New York.
Okay.
to get a flight back. So that is my itinerary. I've got an enormous spreadsheet. I think this is not the biggest one in terms of hotels, but I think it's the biggest one in terms of flights and stuff because of the whole. Because I'm connecting a lot more on this. I'm having to connect a lot more. I don't like connecting flights, but it's just impossible. Some of the places I'm going to, like Fargo, you have to connect really to get there.
Okay.
I think it's only Chicago and Minneapolis that go there. So.
Wow. Excuse me. So, what a trip, Tim.
Yes, and I thought I'll take the opportunity to talk to you from Alaska, and also, I mean, I was pretty prepared to do some interviews, but it's like next week we have got a slot, but it's like, well, I'm going to be in Portland. I think I might be trying to meet somebody the night before, and I'm like, do I want to do that, or should we just do a general chit chat show here? So well, let's do a general chit chat show.
It's fun to hear about your travels. When you'll be back in the UK when?
End of this month, basically, and then I'm going to a few conferences in the UK, and then I'm back in the US for somebody is getting married in marrying your beau Johns in September.
I am.
And I haven't booked that entire trip yet. I've booked the San Diego bit, but I haven't booked where I'm going afterwards. So I might try and sneak in a few extra states if I can. I don't know.
That's what I was going to ask. Are you going to see any states at that point? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm running out of visa time. I'm like on a ESTA, you can only visit for. I don't know, James might be suffering this. I don't know. You can only visit for up to 3 months in a year to the US. So I'm going to be about 2.5 when I've done your one. So I don't want to get basically manhandled by the TSA.
Yeah. Okay. No, he hasn't. He's not even close to that yet. But hopefully we'll get a visa for him before that happens.
Yeah, well, I think there is some sort of fiance visa, isn't there? Like if you marry somebody, you can have an extra.
There's a fiance, and then of course we'll be applying to the wedding visa or the marriage visa. So we'll see. We don't know how this works. We're gonna learn as we go, and then we'll be experts.
Well, hopefully you won't be like repeating it. You're only going to get married once to each other. Like,
well, we're getting married here, and then we're doing a UK wedding too.
Yeah.
I mean, but we'll already be married, so as long as the UK acknowledges it, which they say they do, so we're good.
I think they've changed the rules so that it used to be the case that everybody had to get married in different countries, but I think they've changed the rules now that people can get married in different places.
Yeah.
Anyway, I suppose I should get breakfast and start exploring this. I was going to say Fargo, but it's not Fargo. It's Fairbanks.
You enjoy the rest of your time, Tim. That's going to be fun. And I have my wedding shower today, so we both have some exciting things. We have some exciting things happening.
Yeah, I presume that's like a baby shower, not that you're just. This is when you have your last shower before you get married.
This is my celebration before I get married. So I'm excited with all my girlfriends. So you have fun in Alaska, and I can't wait to see more pictures between Alaska and Portland. Yeah.
Okay. Well, goodbye to everybody, and I'm going to try and work out how to press the outro button properly. Right. So, thanks. I think there's somebody watched. Somebody left a laugh emoji, so I'm not sure if that's good or bad. But thanks to everybody who's watching or has been watching.
All right. Bye.
This is what God requires.